Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, it's been a busy weekend. How are you doing?
Good. First podcast in the new apartment.
I know. Look at that. Well, I mean, you're going to have to put something
Right.
back there.
Yeah. I'm testing out different spaces, so we'll see.
Oh, on like where you might be in your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like you don't necessarily want to put the ACBC blanket above
Right.
your living room couch or wherever that is. So yeah, it's finding the correct spot really works. I'm over here on my desk, and the recliner I'm normally on is over there. But I've been very good about. I'm like, I want the laptop to live here.
Right.
Like when I'm on the recliner, that's where relaxing, we're watching a movie or something. And I'm trying to only eat dinner over on the table,
Yeah.
so like I don't want these worlds to blend anymore. And sometimes when you get very busy, they all come together. Oh, I've got a plate of food here. I've got the laptop on my lap desk, and I'm covered in a blanket, and I'm doing work. But then it also bleeds into, should I be working now?
Yeah.
Whole thing. So yeah, you got to find like your right spot. Do you have boundaries like that for your stuff in your house?
Yeah, it's a little bit different now with the layout. I kind of have it's weird because going from, having a roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment to just a 1-bedroom, it feels I have a lot of space for my things, but overall it is a smaller space. But I think it might make it easier to keep those spaces separate. Like you're saying with, watching TV, and then I'll just eat like in the living room. But I mean, my dining table is like not even that far from me anymore. So I might as well just sit at the dining table and eat there and move from
Yeah.
place to place. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean, for so long my worlds have always blended, but then that's how you get into a bad habit of working all the time, or all right, now there's food in places the food shouldn't be. Then you leave a dish there on the little table next to your couch, and you go off and do other things, and now they start to accumulate. It's just boundaries like that.
Right.
That's something I'm trying to do for myself, and it's working. Like I don't mind the laptop being always just plugged in over here, and I sit here and do stuff, and then it gives me reason to get up and walk away too, instead of everything just being in one spot. There's never like an escape or a rest period.
Yeah.
And now you get to experience this is your first solo apartment, right?
Yep.
So now it's like it is 100% your fridge, your bathroom, your living room. The TV goes exactly where Miguel wants it to be. Like I remember that feeling when I had my first solo apartment, and it was like, this is so awesome. Like it's my fridge. I was really excited about the fridge. I'm like no one else's like rotting groceries is in there, because I'd had some bad experiences with roommates and stuff, with people having just all kinds of food in the fridge, and they don't clean the fridge, and the fridge never gets cleaned, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you most excited about in just having this solo space?
I don't know. I think it is really just maybe I can be a little bit more relaxed with the way that I kind of take care of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think with a roommate, I was very much like, I don't want to leave this here. One, because I don't want to leave it for somebody else. And two, I don't want them to then leave their things, and now I have to take care of double the things. I can kind of just relax because I know nobody else is going to clean it up for me. I know I can step out for a minute or two, come back and clean something up or move it back to where I want it. Yeah, the way that I leave it is the way that it stays. So
Yeah,
I like that so far.
which is a pro and a con.
Yeah.
Like because with total freedom comes total consequence as well. And I mean, we've all done that. You're like, all right, I'm not going to do the dishes tonight. And then the next day, and like you're just in a busy time, and then you're like, all right, the dishes are overflowing in the sink, but I can't put them in a dishwasher because that's also full of the last time I cleaned things. And then it's just a whole. Now you're gonna have to spend 20 minutes doing it anyways, and yeah. I mean, it's gonna work out. I mean, you're not gonna trash the place. You don't seem like a messy person and whatnot. So I think you're just gonna enjoy it. So yeah, enjoy it for as long as you can, because you never know what might change in the future.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, congrats on the new apartment. That's a life PR.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll see where this thread carries us. Where will Miguel be next time? So
Right.
you can. I'm gonna guess maybe kitchen table. I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna guess. So if you're listening, you can guess where Miguel might appear next time.
Yeah. We'll see.
Do you have any outdoor space, like a balcony or like a
Yeah.
yard?
I have a balcony, and then I have a garage too. So a good amount of like storage space for everything as well.
A balcony is nice, especially when the weather's out. You just go out there, read, listen to music, do whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have a nice view?
No, it's just
Oh,
of the parking lot.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, you could people watch in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Even I think even if it's just a parking lot or something, because I do have some parking lot, but then I have the tennis courts and the sports fields, so
Yeah.
there is like a lot of green and trees that I get to see, and it is a beautiful view at times when the weather's nice. But having outdoor space is a game changer because I have lived in an apartment where you're just stuck in these walls, but being able just to go right outside, even if it's just a little slab of outside, especially when things were locked down,
Yeah.
is huge. Having that space. So cool. We'll see how this develops. A lot of things to talk about. First, we'll get it over with real quick. I did my second swim meet, so another sport under the belt here in 2025. PR'd my 50-yard freestyle down from 58 seconds to 53 seconds, and there's some decimals in there too.
Yeah.
I went. I actually warmed up this time, so I showed up. I wasn't sociable, but like I was sociable enough to get into the warm up pool and swim my laps. There's someone else there, which I did not like. I hate it. I hate it. Like when you're coming back and there's someone else coming towards you, and their aim isn't good enough to be on their part of the lane, and they're kind of centered, and then you have to kind of weave around them. That's still really annoying. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, I got to get in the water. And the temperature was warmer than I was expecting. The other pool was colder. And they said this was going to be a fast pool, which I guess a fast pool is when it's deeper and just the way the water works. And there's some other things that factor into why it's fast. I'll tell you right now, I did not notice. Like, all right, I PR'd. I don't know how much that goes, a fast pool versus a not fast pool goes into how my performance went.
Yeah.
I could not tell the difference. I just felt like the pool itself was warmer, and I still felt like there was no help. If you remember the first event I did at the Sakati Center, they have all those jets. It feels like the water carries you a little bit. At these swim events, I feel like there's just flat, dead water, and you're just going against the resistance. So I went really, really hard on the 500 freestyle, and I was completely gassed after that. I was like, boy, like I gave it everything I had. I got out. My legs were jelly. That's always a weird feeling and a slightly embarrassing one, even if no one notices. I've never experienced that on anything else but swimming. Getting out of it and your body is jello. It's like gravity hits you again and your muscles are exhausted. So now you have to 100% support yourself. Yeah.
Right. Like I mean, I don't know that whole feeling for swimming, but I know like when you run on the treadmill and you get off, and because of the way that works, like your legs feel different. I guess, if you're swimming and you're using your whole body, but it's like, it's a different sense of like gravity and control there. So
you got that buoyancy. It is kind of like that. But I can't equate it to like, all right, I did a bunch of wall balls. It's like because your quads are blown up, but like everything feels blown up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, don't fall back in the pool. But like when you're getting up on a thing, like I'm like always concerned. I'm like, don't fall or trip or stumble. You got to walk this off to the bench, and then you just sit down and suffer. And then a couple more heats went by, and then it was time for the breaststroke. And I was like, boy, I have a whole lot for the breaststroke right now. But we tried. And I tried going hard right off the beginning. I don't know if that was the right tactic. If maybe I should have just got down there and tried to go hard on the way back. But again, I only know so many modes with swimming. So I just like, hey, let's just try the same approach. And I'm all upper body on the breaststroke. And with not having any help in the water, it was just like on my way back, I was already extra gassed from the first event and now this. And I did that thing where I'm in the water and I'm pushing really hard. Like I'm ripping, like trying, but it doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere, which that feeling starts to creep up on you. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's almost like being like walking in snow. You're like, all right, I'm trying to move fast, but I'm kind of stuck. And then I did the worst thing possible. I looked up at the scoreboard to see what my time was at the moment of being midway back. And I was already almost at my time for my previous record, which is like 129. So then there's this like, all right, we're not doing it,
Right.
you know. But and everyone else finished already. So I'm just struggling just to get the rest of the way. It feels like it's taking forever. I finished that, I think, in a minute 42 or something like that. And I got DQ'd because I only touched the touchpad with one hand because I got down there and I was like, done. Just let it be done, because it was torture. And I was also, I guess, using incorrect foot movements. I guess like you're supposed to on the propulsion have your foot start bent like this and then go. And
Okay.
I was just kind of like pulling my knees up and my foot was already bent and going like this. Like I don't know what I was doing. I was full survival mode at that point.
Yeah.
That was just like another situation. I have to get across this pool without stopping and without assistance and just get out of the pool because I already knew that this was a done deal.
Right.
So yeah. And I learned my lesson. 2 events. I would not have had 2 more events. Like the only reason that happened the first time is because I did not know what any of it was going to feel like. And I refused to quit, and I just have to do it now. So, but yeah, that's it. So, second one in the books.
Nice. That was last week?
Yep, that was last Saturday, a week before. Yeah, a week before the weightlifting meet.
Yeah, nice.
And I won this little black rubber ducky because I PR'd my 50 freestyle, which I didn't know that this was a thing. But some lady was like, "Oh, how's the meet going?" And I'm like, good. I PR'd my freestyle. This is before the breaststroke. And she's like, "Oh, well, you get a rubber ducky." And I was like, "Tell me more about that because I want it now." And I went and I found them. And I guess every time you set a record for yourself, you can get one of these ducks.
Nice.
So didn't win him a friend, but next time.
That's cool. Do they, is it like kind of like how we, let's say for our like weights that we hit in a weightlifting meet, like do they have a system where all of your times are in there, or do you self-report?
No, there's a system. So they have like a computer system, kind of like we do for weightlifting meet, with far less wires, from what I could tell. And I don't know how. There's no way someone's getting electrocuted if it's weightlifting wires. But they have like their table, and they have up on the wall, just like at a basketball game or football game. There's a giant scoreboard in the pool room already. So they hook up into that, and they have a lot of technical issues with it too. Like I can hear them because I was sitting next to the officials table and I can hear them complaining about like, it didn't record that guy's score, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I know that pain. Yeah. I understand that. Because it's technology. You're just literally at its mercy. And in the pool room, it's humid. It's warm. It's moisture. So I imagine they must have a lot of waterproof stuff, but I think even still, your laptops and other things are going to be affected by that. So, so they record all that stuff, and then the meet director sends in all the results to the Masters weightlifting website, and you can go into your profile and see what your times are and what events you've done. I do think this duck thing is cool. I would like to do something similar. Like, let's say if we had like, even if it's a duck, like it was just a bin of these. Hundreds of them that this lady bought, and like let's say if you PR at the gym, you get a duck, or something like or maybe we save them for competitions or something. I think it'd just be a fun thing to do. So I would like to find like a little something. I don't know should it be an animal? Like what's?
Yeah, maybe we can make it like a regional thing. I mean, I'm glad that we have the PR bell where it is. Yeah, because especially yesterday, like I feel like that bell got hit a bunch.
It was ringing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It even got rung times cool. When they were PRs.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I think that'd be something fun to do, and relatively cheap. Like that bin they had of like
Yeah,
100 ducks,
for sure.
and it was literally just go take it. Like so like if you're in the know, at the swim meets they have a table at the back end of the pool that's just they buy bagels, water bottles, and snacks and food for everybody. So like they like it's not meals, it's not like Texas Roadhouse for the whole meet, but they provide stuff, bananas and everything for everyone. Because I imagine a lot of people show up without any of that stuff and don't fuel and hydrate, and they're there all day. So they just make sure there's stuff available, Gatorade. That might be like a race sport practice. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say like a lot of like cross country meets, or even now with like marathons and 5Ks and stuff, they always have those stations. Yeah.
It's more communal. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
But
not
yeah,
like
I do think it is easier for like those type of sports to just walk by and grab or whatever. Like the sessions for weightlifting and kind of just how the flow is might make it a little bit more difficult to just do like that type of deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, another one in the books, and I was very tempted to not do it. Very tempted. Like the week before, I had an ingrown toenail that I had to get removed, and that's not fun. So I was traumatized for that, healing from that, and then it's just like before you're busy with things. There's all kinds of. I signed up for it in like December, and now it's here. And I hadn't been able to get into the pool like I'd wanted to this whole last quarter. And I'd only got in a couple times. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go now. And before we left Barbell Club on Friday, you weren't there on this particular day, I don't think. Right? That one Friday?
Yeah, I would have been packing the truck up. Yeah.
That's true. Yep, you were moving. As we were leaving, getting close to I just casually mentioned to the room, oh yeah, I got a swim meet tomorrow. And then people ask a few questions. And throwing it out there, it now made it impossible to skip because no one knew other than like a bunch of episodes back where I mentioned it, like, oh yeah, I signed up for another one. No one's got a pen and paper at home. Hey, did James do that? So I made it now more difficult by telling 7 people I have an event tomorrow, and now I kind of have to go. That was my one tactic. And then when I woke up in the morning, like 7 o'clock, I woke up and I'm like, it would be really easy to just hit the snooze and not go, just stay in bed and then get up and go about the rest of my day. But the fact that I told everybody that I was doing it, and now there is a slight risk of someone saying, oh, how did the swim meet go? I have to go now. Yeah. I have to go. So yeah, that's you do what you gotta do. And I'm glad I did it. After I did it, I was like, oh, I'm glad I did that. And it didn't last very long. It was an hour of my day. And now I'm already driving home, and going on the rest of my day. So totally worth it.
Yeah.
So you got to tell people you're doing stuff sometimes just to keep you accountable.
For sure.
So, yep, that's it. Maybe I'll do the other one in November and just keep these on the bookends of the year, kind of. Cool. Other big things in the news. It's the Barbell Club's birthday today.
Yeah.
11 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 11 years. So last year it happened to fall on a Saturday, so we're able to pair it with the regional. And if that happened again, I don't know if I wouldn't do that again. That was just 10 years. That's a different one. I don't want to make everyone suffer through our birthday every year. But yeah, 11 years. And it's cool that we got to lift the day before and go after big PRs at the regional and whatnot. But it's kind of crazy that, every year that goes by now, it's like, wow, 11 years, 12 years. It's a lot of time. And how long, when did you join Barbell Club? 2017 or 18?
No, I joined the Albany CrossFit 2017. I think it was December 2018.
Okay.
I officially joined Barbell Club.
So it's like 7 years, right? Kind of coming on 7 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you've been a part of the club for more than half of its life.
Right.
How does this feel? You've seen a lot of iterations. Obviously, I've seen all the iterations of it and everything. But it's kind of been a very consistent group since you've joined. There have been a lot of comings and goings, but yeah. What's your perspective on just that time span?
Yeah, I feel like I do feel like kind of like the old man of the group in the way that I like recount, where I'm like, you guys don't even know. This was something completely different when we joined. Obviously, like I think maybe like me and Schaff starting to compete also kind of, I guess, kind of changed the way that everything kind of went. But it definitely was a more casual thing, I guess you could say. Like it was supplementary to CrossFit for a lot of the people there, I think. In more of like, oh, I'll go on Monday and maybe I won't go there on Wednesday. Kind of like a CrossFit class where you're just like, oh, I'll pop in when I can, instead of like a straight up scheduled. It was shorter, and yeah, it was just 2 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. For a long time, just 2 days.
Yeah. It was kind of just come in and do whatever it was for the day, but what you just kind of, not random weights, but just kind of what you can, a little less tailored.
You were going to get a card with your own personal numbers on it.
Right.
You were going to be in charge of warming up and getting there, the way that you saw fit. And the competitive crew was Frank and Tracy and Carol Ann back then, and Carrie. So Binghamton people, and Kim was doing competitions. There it's kind of it. Like there was maybe another person or two. Of course, me, I was doing competitions, but like back then, a lot of the people from the gym weren't doing competitions too regularly. Like Lewis would do them, Nick would do them, but it wasn't like as like much as like you guys do so many meets now. Like I think once we got into like past 2020, even like you guys started doing like 6 or 7 a year.
Yeah.
Like full time. Like it's a lot. But Frank was always doing a lot of meets too. So, it's interesting.
It's cool to see like iterations of the team, meaning like, I mean, people move and all of this, but like you kind of have your core, and then your core kind of expands or it changes. And, some years it's like, all right, this year I'm kind of taking a step back. I'm still a part of the team, but, for now, somebody else is doing the most competitions this year while I do like 1 or 2. And then, it's been cool to see that as well, to see people kind of build with it. And even yesterday, we had a few people doing their first meet. And I think yesterday, none of us had done a meet for at least 6 months.
Yeah. Since States.
It was good to like get everyone back. And I think at the end, everyone kind of seemed excited for like what's next. And people are talking about their next regional that they're going to go to like over the summer, or hopping into another meet here or there. So that was cool too to hear.
The only other regional anyone's allowed to go to, because Joe's is pretty much sold out, is Frank's coming up in mid-May. So that'll be great. I will be there. And there's a CrossFit competition the day before. So hear me out. You could do a little CrossFit competition, and then the next day do a weightlifting meet. And hey, look at that. That's a solid weekend. Because weren't you thinking on doing a CrossFit event this year?
Over the summer, yeah. Well, the thing with Frank's meet, I have a wedding that weekend. I'm officiating a wedding that Friday. And then so.
Well, wait a minute. All right. Yeah, you could officiate it on Friday.
No.
I mean, what a solid 3 days. Officiating, CrossFit, weightlifting meet.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was cool. I think everyone had a good time. Again, it was really smooth. Again, I feel like every year it kind of seems, I don't know about for you, but like every year, at least for me, it seems like smoother. The process of getting it together, breaking everything down, kind of just how every part of it feels. But yeah.
It definitely felt like a more chilled year. Still like forward advancements in, we have this solid technology that we're using. We had a new banner. That banner came out really good. And I'm glad with the banner, like I'm glad I didn't just put the white logo on it, because I was debating on just fully white, and I'm like, that kind of seems a little lame, just like a blur of white. And I'm like, what if I did the original bluish color, but with a white outline to have it pop off the black? Because like you can't have that blue on black; it looks weird. Right. And when I saw the mock-up of it, I was like, that looks sick. And then I was like, okay, well, if that's going to be the banner, the thing that lives behind it, to keep things simple, let's just put that on the t-shirt. And it came out real solid. So
yeah,
that other banner, vertical. I mean, unless there's a very specific reason, I will never print a vertical banner again. Which I didn't print that one, anyways. That was just done for me. But I would never go vertical. I don't think I would go white unless it's fabric. Because white vinyl there's no way to clean it. There's no way to have it look as white again. And with the vinyl, if it crinkles once, it's done. Yeah. And that was the problem with our other banner. It always looked nice. Okay, there is a banner, but it bothered me so much seeing that crease right in the middle, right.
Yeah, agreed.
So fabric and wrinkle free, worth it. Like if you got to print something, print it and pay the extra whatever. I didn't pay for it, but you might as well do that. So and then when you guys folded it, it's just right over here. It's gonna go into like one of those hanging basket things you put in your closet. I have one of those in my storage closet. It's just gonna go right in there, and it just lives there instead of a giant 12-foot box. Like it's just there's easier ways to do it. And so making things easier as we go to year that make your life like all right. The things you have to print every year. Print them once and laminate them. Like we're finally at the stage now where like the things I did last year made this year so much easier, and the technology. I'm learning how to set up that electronics now, and now that I've done it, it just gets easier every time. Like I totally understand how to do it now, and then you're just like I still hope it works, because there could be one wire that has one problem, and then it all doesn't work. Which we had that issue at States. Those little adapters that go into the laptop, that it's an Ethernet adapter. Yeah. Some of them were faulty, and that means the whole thing doesn't work now. Yeah. So it's like a Christmas tree lights.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yeah.
To figure that out. But so, I felt like it went really smooth. The week before, I felt like I had a lot to do, but a lot of downtime too, where normally there's still a lot. Like a lot of stuff you have to do are like time specific. You can't do this until there is no classes for the rest of the day and the room gets cleared out. And so you're just kind of waiting for your moments to do stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
And you guys did a great job. I feel like also that makes it easier is you guys know now where things kind of need to go and what we need to do, that you guys can just all roll in and be like, let's go get the chairs. We know we need the chairs, the tables, the this, the that, move the kettlebell rack, which no one's happy about, but we'll get Shop and Alex to do it, and then we'll pretend like we're helping. That was funny. Like when we got it to court 5, all the kettlebells are on it, and then it needed to go flush against the wall, and both you and I put our we put our foot on the front of it, and I was doing it symbolically as if like, okay, I am going to put some pressure into pushing it forward, but this is the cue that this is where we need to move it. And you kind of did the exact same thing.
I did the exact same thing.
But neither one of us were pushing, and Shaf and Alex are on the side thinking we were going to get it going, but we were just waiting for them literally to do all the work.
Yeah. I'm more of a guider,
Yeah.
It was funny bringing it back as well. I kind of put everybody else on the job except for myself. And Adam Walker, shout out to Adam. But he was around too, and Haley started pulling it, and he was like, "Oh, okay, like I'll try to help out." And he started to go, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Leave it. This is going to be a team lift." I was like, "Thank you so much for offering to help, but yeah, you will not be able to get this."
Yeah. But we need to wait for Shaf to get over here.
Yeah.
Shaf, if you're listening, thank you for spearheading the kettlebell rack campaign
Alex
there.
was a big help getting it over there. On the way back, we had to go 4 people. So Shaf, Haley, me, and Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Alex showed up probably an hour to 90 minutes before everyone else because he got out of work early, and he's moving all that stuff in dress shoes.
Yeah.
So he's in dress shoes, and I don't think I could go up and down the stairs holding a table in a pair of shoes like that. Like that seems risky because my feet always, especially when you wear dress socks, there's always like a little bit of like movement in them. I don't know if I would trust it, but he did it. He did it. And Adam Walker, one of the funniest moments of the meet when he's in session 4 and he lined up for session 3.
Yeah.
And Rachel Dwyer from Avita is doing all the introductions, and then they end up with like, who's that guy? And then she's like, what's your name? Adam Walker. And she's looking at the sheet, and then I'm wondering, I'm like, did I not print a card? Like, did he register? The thing that I'm thinking of is, did he register for the event? And somehow I missed him on the spreadsheet. Like he snuck in or something, because that's happened before. And I'm like, and I don't have any of his info in the computer or anything. And I'm like, who is this person? And then he's like, oh, is this not the last set? And then he was in the wrong session. That was great.
Yeah. And then went on to completely crush it. So.
Yep. He got best male lifter by Sinclair. You were second place.
Yeah. No, I told him afterwards. I was like, you came into my own home and took it away from me.
Yeah. You never know who's going to sign up. I do think this is the closest you've been to a best lifter, right? Award.
Yeah, there was ADK series last summer where I came in second as well.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep.
There's always like an 89 that's just crushing weights that,
which I think his Sinclair, I'm going off the top of my head, was like 320, something like that.
I think it was 327 that I saw.
Okay. And like yours was like 302?
No, I think mine was under 3.
No, you were 3. I remember seeing 3.
Okay. But yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I looked at the scoreboard and I was like, oh gosh, never mind.
But hey, you're not that far off, because like if you connect with, I mean, we'll talk about it soon. You connect with a 100 and a 120, those Sinclair points really start to go up. So the thing is, you're getting very, very close now, and your lifts keep inching up, but you're still in those lightweight classes. So the more you start to close the gap between those 81s and 89s, or like a really, really strong, like 96 or whatever, you're creeping up on them, and then eventually they have to keep going up, but your weight is still down. Like eventually you will have the advantage here. Like the tables will turn eventually. So it's only a matter of time. Miguel is coming, unless your weight class goes up. But that's
no, I don't. I think I've really. This is like the cap.
Yeah. 65. So and I think this will be good too. 65, I think, is going to work out really well for you on not having to cut, not having to go up, just being there naturally and letting your weight fill out, on like your frame, and also the weights just keep going up. Because I don't know if you're cleaning 120 at 59 kilos or 61 kilos or something like that. I think the extra weight helps you, because there's only so much muscle we can put on, and where are we going to put it, and things like that. So it helps to be a little heavier. A smooth run for the event. Great way to kind of celebrate the birthday on that. Let's dive into some performance recaps here on how everyone did. Any other general thoughts you have on the meet?
No, I mean, it was really fun. I think it was cool to have more, like, I know it's great to like bring in higher up, like official type people, but I also really like it when it's like everyone running something is like pretty much a local. And at least like for the aspect of like growing the sport in the area as well, and having these people stepping up, and like having Rachel do the speaker, because she crushed it. And, you know, even just in like learning the Marshall table and stuff like that, like that's only going to help us as we go further and do it more often. So I think that was great.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to all the volunteers. Greg Decker, who was reffing all day on the far right hand, he wants to get his national referee cert. So he has to get so many hours locally and so many different positions. Then he has to do that at the national level. Then he can take the test. Then he can go to the big one, and they'll work him to death there, and he has to get so many hours. But he's going to all the local meets. He'll be at Joe Rod's meet. He'll be at Frank's meet. He'll be at the ADK meet. So he's really putting in the time and wearing the blue. He's got his blue suit already, you know, which I heard some drama with that. That like apparently, if you go to like a national event, I didn't know this, and you can dress up nicely, but if you're wearing a blue jacket and you're not like a national or higher, someone will be like, "Oh, you can't wear that jacket," or so. Like they'll get dumb about it, and it's like. But like, see, I never get in those situations, Miguel, where people say things like that to me. I maybe I just look like unfriendly and like I don't know if there's something about just the way I look or anything, but like I was hearing all kinds of stories about the things that people said to other people like over the weekend, and I'm like, man, I never get that fun. I just never do, because no doubt the person that said it to this other person is in any position of authority. Like that's the thing. Like, so it's like, that's what I love about it, because then I get to bring that up. I'm like, who are you? Like, are you the meet director? Are you ComSec? Are you you're just a ref. Great. Goodbye. You know, like I never get to have fun, Miguel. But anyways, so he's putting in all the work there. And then I thought that was a great spot to put Justin, you know, on the numbers and all that stuff. Plus, I need to put him to work, and I needed someone to fill that spot. Michelle can handle it solo. That's a really like the amount of people we had in a nice local setting. Cool to go solo at the national events. That's a lot harder, you know, because you got to put it into the computer, and some of those coaches come over, they just write on the card and walk away, which is not a good idea. That's a great way to have things get messed up. But so that all worked out. Shout out to Tanzira, Jennifer, Loden, Shy, Loden. And then people stepping up too when we had gaps. We did have some gaps, and Alyssa and Owen came in to help fill the gaps when we needed it. Sam was a great help as well. I was like, crap, like this paperwork needs to get into the computer. You know, I only had to put stuff in the computer once because like I was like, all right, I'll do it during this 10-minute break, but someone had already gotten to it. So it's like people just stepping up and getting stuff done. So that's a good thing too. So let's talk about how Peeps did on our team. I got my little book here. I'll just read from the book. It was Rebecca's first meet. She did great. She's brand new to the sport. Still like I was still like, oh, you got to walk up those stairs. You know, like still like we don't know where to go. And like that's where it's. I'm like, all right, like look around. Like she's disappeared. Like that's sort of like the fun of like someone who's brand new. They're in a foreign world. And it's almost like they're like you have someone from another country that doesn't speak the language or that's a bath. Like they don't know where to go. And then you got to like keep a bell on them. You're like, wait, I've lost them now. Where I need to find them. No, they shouldn't have gone. They have to lift right now. You know. So with you guys know where you need to be when you need to be there. You know, you're in tune with it. But she did good. PR on the snatch, 31 kilos.
Yeah.
PR on the clean and jerk, 56 kilos, and those are both 1 kilo PRs. And not really, I guess, a PR on the total, but it's also establishing competition total. But it is a PR on the total. So she made 5 out of 6 lifts. We did get a press out on the first 31, but I was like, yes, so from a coaching standpoint, I've needed these red lights. I've been waiting for these red lights because this is how you learn. You know, it would have been a PR if she got 31 the first attempt, and then we would have gone up and gone another PR, which it was funny after I think her 50 clean and jerk, she rung the bell, and I'm like, no, that's not even the PR, you know. It's like, which technically was her first competition PR. It is a PR in some way, but like I've been trying to relay the importance of doing things a certain way. And she's starting to get it, but still it's like things are blurring together with CrossFit and other things that you've done, other fitness classes. But like there's a certain way you must do it in weightlifting, even if you're just going to succeed in training, or be injury free, or when you come to a situation like this. So I was her press out could have easily been one where people were in the chair would have been like, white light, you got it overhead. And I'm so glad we got the red lights on it, because now afterwards I was joking with her. I'm like, oh, you didn't like that, did you? And it's like, no, I did not. No, I did not. And now I have to go out and try harder and do it better. Yeah. And like, so that was like, I needed that situation to happen. She needed that situation to happen for her own athletic development. I needed it to happen so I could be like, do you remember that? Like, and let's use that now. And then when we got to the clean and jerks, she definitely didn't want that to happen. And now in the warm-up room, she pressed out one of her last warm-ups at 45 kilos. And she's like, that wouldn't have counted, right? And I'm like, no. Like, all right, see, now we're on to something here. Like that's, you don't like that feeling. You don't want to chase that feeling. You don't want to chase the feeling of any way, anyhow overhead. Yeah. And you need to know the difference on like, no, that's not good. Now, when you do know the difference and you press it out on the competition platform, it's good that don't let them know that just still put it down and walk away, because it is still their job, but it's good that you know what's going on here. So Rebecca did great job. So now back to training and then on to the next one, should she decide to do the next one.
And I think it's cool to do your first competition. I think, like we talk about, like the kind of makeup of our team now, just because so many of us have competed for years. And, I think as a new person, it could be also like intimidating, or like you don't even know where you stand, because it's like, okay, everyone seems to be so far ahead of me. But when you're in a session and you see other people lifting and you're like, okay, maybe I don't feel as like I need to be progressing faster, or I need to be up there with these people who've been doing it for years. Because now you see a whole bunch of other people that they're like, oh, they're lifting around the same weights as I am. So I think that's cool to see.
And it was another good thing to have her in the same session as Haley. And I did a sessions by weight class, so we can do the awards and stuff. And people wouldn't have to wait multiple sessions. But that if I would have done it by entry total, Rebecca would have been alone in session 1, and then Haley would have been alone in session 2. The thing that was good is that after she was done, I was like, watch Haley now and look at how she carries herself through the competition. So watch how she's warming up. Oh, she's not doing all the lifts in succession every 20 seconds as soon as it's loaded in a very hyper, I have to go now type of thing. She's resting. She's waiting for me to give her the thumbs up before she goes. Oh, she's taking cues from coach instead of just being in her own funnel lane or anything like that. Watch how she sits after the attempts, and how I told Rebecca, I'm like, look at how she's going to go out there to do the lift. And then did you see how she went to the chalk bucket and then got some chalk and then stood behind and breathed and went through her whole thing? It doesn't matter. She knows how much time she has to do all this stuff, and she's not trying to go faster just because there's people watching or anything like that. Versus like Rebecca, I haven't been in this situation in a while where someone gets out there and on the bar almost faster than I could get my camera up and hit the record button, because there was somewhere I was like tapping the record button and I would double tap it because I didn't know if it took, and because there's a delay before it starts to tick, from 0 to 1 to 2 seconds, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to record her lifts because she's just out there faster than I can get over there and get my camera out. And I also haven't had someone so new in a while where I have to actually tell them, hey, sit down. Like, come over here, because like, it's like you shouldn't be back in the hallway having a conversation with your husband explaining things. Like, you don't need to do any of that now. He can see. That's a conversation for after. Come over here, sit down, rest. But having Haley be an example is like, okay, good. That's where you want to get to. And now you can learn that way. So, and then of course she got to see multiple of you guys throughout the rest of the day doing your thing. So yeah, great learning experience for her, and she did a fantastic job. And shout out to Jennifer for helping with just making sure to keep her on track, because I had to step away for a couple to do things, but I also have to make sure she's ready, and she needs supervision. So I need Jennifer to be there, like to make sure we don't accidentally max out, or the math is correct, or we're getting it done in time, where like there isn't a situation like, okay, I did those lifts, let me go over there and do no, you need to be on that. I'm like, Jennifer, we have 8 minutes, and Jennifer will get her ready in that time. And I'm glad that both her and Chris first meets wore singlets. They didn't have to, but luckily the team provided singlets, and I think that just helps the experience too.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Haley was next up. 87 kilo class, first time in that weight class, last time in that weight class. So she says, tons of PRs. PR snatch, 78 kilos. Boy, have we been looking for these for a while. PR clean and jerk, 95 kilos. PR total, because of that, 173. And not only are they competition and lifetime PRs, they're also regional PRs, which is the last time she set a snatch PR was at the regional. I think it might have been the first one, might have been the second one, 76 kilos. So great day for Haley. Lifts were locked in.
I think it's funny because she reacted on her last snatch, like mid lift, and I also reacted. It's interesting because of where I sit, and me and Haley lift right next to each other. So I always get like almost the same view that I was watching her from the platform, like that side view. Mm-hmm. I could tell as soon as it left the floor that I was like, oh, she just crushed that. Like, it did not pass her knees, but I saw it go off the floor, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a PR right there. So that was cool to see too. It's great to like see everyone PR and then like put those weights on the bar that you're like, oh yeah, I guess we are at the point where we have to take these shots at like these huge weights now.
Yeah. I mean, I went into it with a very aggressive mindset on the numbers. Like I was trying to encourage and push a lot of you to like, let's open much heavier. Yeah. Like I wanted, like Haley's opened up at 68, 70 for a while. I was hoping though we were going to get into the sevens, because then that allows us to go 74, 75, and then either a 77, 78, maybe an 80. I did have an 80, in my mind. But then I was really happy when she agreed to open at 90 on the clean and jerk. I'm like, come on, 85, 88. Like for a lot of you guys, like it was time to do things, because if we never do it, we're never going to do it.
Yeah.
And you need that pressure of like, all right, it's 90 on now, and I've never opened with this before, or I'm opening much heavier than normal, or I'm going to go for my third attempt 100, because, we opened at 90 on a clean jerk for Haley. Then we went 95, which was a 3 kilo PR lifetime and a 4 kilo PR for competition. So big, like that's a big jump, 90 to going for like a weight she's never done before. But if you look at our training cycle, she was cleaning that from the hang. And so I was using that data, like watching you guys destroy lifts from the hang, even if you didn't get the jerk or something. I'm like, come on, we got to try it from the floor, especially when the environment too. Like that changes it. Like on that platform with a different kind of bar, with all these people around, a camera on you, all that stuff. Does that not change it, the effort you're putting in?
Yeah, for sure.
So between how you guys looked in training, what we've already done a million times at other meets, and knowing the environment, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can bet on like that, like we'd get pretty close at least. That's why I was like, all right, let's put 100 on. Like, why go 98? Because also for Haley, for her third attempt, we have to eventually get a first time of putting it on. Like from like, she's cleaned it from the floor, I think. Maybe not. That might have been from the hang. She's at least cleaned it from the hang once, maybe twice. But in competition, we've never put it on. We have to, because it's never going to roll down the list of second attempt, third or first attempt if we never put it on. Even if we know we're going to miss it, like which really close on that clean. That clean just needed a little extra sticking with it, a little extra of like I'm not going to catch it the way I want it. You know, like, but it's going to get on it, and we're just going to get up there and see what happens. Like, you kind of need those two. It's kind of the reality of some things.
Definitely.
So, yeah, awesome performance from Haley. And on the snatch, I love, my favorite lifts are the ones where when people get to the bottom and they know they got it, and they start, like, you could celebrate too early and it could fall. But those are my favorite ones to see when I'm reffing. I'm like, they got it. You know. From a coaching standpoint, do you think your eye is getting better now? Like, a lot of people don't see, like, and like, I have not complaints, but like, I tell you guys a lot. I'm like, right off the floor, like there's a moment where you're like, you just know, you're like, oh boy, they're not going to get it from the moment it breaks the floor. Like, can you see that now?
Yeah. And I think, I mean, specifically with our team, I will say reffing, I saw some people that I was like, no shot. And they would surprise me. But I think specifically for our athletes, and because we work on position so much as well, I can see where the bar is at for our lifters specifically at certain positions and know if they got it or not. I can know where it's going to go. I know that this one's probably going to bump out. I know that, but you're right. I do think it's been a lot easier for me to see lifts like right off the floor or just above the knee and tell like, oh, that's a good lift, or it's not going to be a good lift.
Yep. And it sets the whole tone for the whole thing. So it's like, when you're coaching someone and like you see that, like that little thing right off the floor, and then like they get it overhead and they're like, oh yeah, I press. It's like everything was because of that. Like you pressed it out because it was right here. It wasn't back where it needed to go because of just right off the floor. But like like their attention is to where the problem happened. It's kind of like when you have like some kind of an injury, upstream, downstream. All right, your knee hurts. Well, your knee hurts because of what's happening at your ankle, but you're going to treat the boo-boo where it is. You're going to work on the knee, all that stuff. If you're the practitioner, you have to touch the knee. Otherwise, they're not going to think you know what you're doing. But then you're like, well, let me move your hip around too a little bit and your ankle, because there's those two engines above this static joint that only does this, and it gets beat up. It's the same thing with the lifts. You have to address, okay, yes, we want to lock it out, tighten up your shoulders. But when you pull this one, make sure your hands are in the right spot. Squeeze it in, brace your back. And when you do see people, when you're watching and it drifts off the floor, it could be the way they were using their legs, but also like if you look up and through here, you'll see a lot of inactive shoulders, kind of, if we use a CrossFit term. Yeah. Any other thoughts on how Haley did?
No, but great job. Yeah, it was great to see.
Yeah, great job. And I also knew these PRs were coming because of the back squat PR. Like that was the harbinger of PRs to come on the snatch and clean jerk. Like if we just back squatted 300 pounds and it was such a massive increase that we've been waiting for a while, because she hasn't been able to do it because she has kind of been injured for a season or two, whether it be a tweak here or there in her back or the dizziness that was happening. That's all kind of a little bit gone. And we really worked hard to even out her squat on equal balance. And we're kind of reaping the rewards of that. And she has more in the tank for the squat. I think when I did the math, her clean and jerk by the math, by the numbers, based on her squat, should theoretically be 120. Now, I think we do have the strength, the speed, the athleticism, the technique to clean a 120. The other variable on the gap between 95 and 120, there's a lot of soul searching to be done on what are you willing to let go of to go under that weight. Like all your fears, all your concerns, the way it feels when you pick it up, that it feels heavy, all these things. And it's going to be so low. Can you just it's like jumping, like bungee jumping. You have to let go and just free fall, And we're not free falling with the weight, but you have to let go of something mentally for those extra little weights. I think you've experienced this a little bit. Am I correct on like
there are positions especially where I'm like, oh, this is going to be the most painful thing. Not like painful, but like it's gonna crush me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like what I say, I'm like, doesn't matter. Like I'm like, get a good clean. But if it's not, it doesn't matter. You can stand it up. Like, yeah, there is that point as well.
And yeah, it might physically. I mean, heavy cleans, they don't feel like a walk in the park. Like they're hard. So even knowing like it's hard, but also like when you think about it now, like right now, let's use 150 as an example. When you think about 150, just the number, the 1, the 5, the 0, and how much weight that is and what it's going to feel like, it puts a mental block on you.
Yeah.
But once you can start to let that go and override all of your defense mechanisms on all the what ifs, all the danger, all that stuff, that's when like all of a sudden you open up, you move freer, and you'll be able to do things you didn't think that you could do. And then because you've removed those barriers, let me know if you think this is correct. This is what I think. You remove those mental barriers, it also all of a sudden becomes safer of a lift, even though it's way heavier, because you're not going to stop it. You're not going to try to muscle it. You're not going to try to do it incorrectly. You're going to do it the most efficient way possible with all maximum effort. There's like not that Haley didn't put in maximal effort, but we'll just use this as an example on 120 versus cleaning 95, right? Maybe she only actually had to use 95% to clean 95 kilos. There's another 5% there that she could unlock, but she doesn't maybe know how to yet, or think she can, or the fact of there's a number that has more power right now doesn't allow for that extra 5%. I don't know, does this all make sense?
No, for sure.
So that's where I think some of you guys are at, that have the most experience. Because like, how many times can you clean 85 into the 90s from all the hang positions, from the floor, all these things? And you're telling me there's not another like big jump of kilos in there? I don't know. I kind of think there is.
Yeah.
So things to think about. And you guys are at that point. Like there's people on the team right now. We're like, we don't have to think about that. Like we need 90% effort, but like for all you other guys, you guys are starting to learn how to tap into the 101% effort. And that's what you'll need to get to. Like, if we want to go theoretically, what does the textbook say your lifts should be? That's how you get there.
Yeah.
And also, if you were training as a professional athlete, this was your job, you were getting massages, you were eating, that of course unlocks percentage points. But being drug-free, everyday lifters with full-time jobs, it's gonna have to come mentally. Because we're a clean team, have been for 11 years.
Yeah,
I don't care what they say. All right. Now next up, it's you. 67 kilo weight class, PR snatch for competition, 95 kilos, PR clean jerk, lifetime 115. PR total 210. We opened with a 210 total, or a 200 total, which is our heaviest ever opening on a total. PR clean of 120, because your current PR was 118, right? From states, I think. Or maybe just training. And then these are regional PRs. Little piece of trivia for you. This is the first regional that you've done where your heaviest clean and jerk wasn't 100.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. At the first regional, we took like a 7 kilo jump, and it was the first time you ever cleaned 100. Then the next one, it was a giant deal. And then the next one,
I had to, because it was the only weight that I could probably hit.
And I think what just happened in 2023, because 2022 you PR'd 100, you cleaned 100 and jerked it for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Then in 2023, I don't know what happened. 2024, we had the dizzy stuff, so we had to just get it done, and I think we powered it. And then we went 107. What happened in 2023? I don't even remember.
I think we just took shots. I think that was it. I think we just made a big jump afterwards, because I think I was going for a total.
And we might have been chasing a 200 total. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that explains that. 2023 was like we were doing stuff meat. We were going for stuff. So yeah, this is huge. You crushed those two snatches. the 90, like wait till you see the video. Like you destroyed those snatches. They looked so smooth, so strong that the only option was to go 100 and just to find out. And then I don't think I've. Is this the first time you've ever tried or attempted to snatch 100?
Yeah.
So another situation of we had to put it on the bar to try it, and it wasn't a lift where it fell in front. We went under it. It went behind, and it looks the exact same way of when you were trying to snatch 90, when you were trying to snatch 92, 93. It looked you have identical misses with 100 of like going under it, and it's that little dive forward, and it keeps going back. You have identical ones, and if let's say we were going to try it 2 more times, unless we ran out of gas, you could have a chance to connect with it. So you are not far away from snatching 100. I predict you will do it this year. And I think the thing that could possibly make it easier to get there is just to keep opening higher, and closing the gap on it a little bit. Maybe even do open with a 95 or a 94, and then go straight to 100. Like if you have a meet where you're like, 100 is the mission. I'll get a score on the board and then go for it.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the 100?
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you, I couldn't feel the weight for any of my snatches.
Do you mean in your hands or your body or your lockout?
Like it didn't feel like anything. Like it. Starting from probably my first warm up to the 100 attempt, like the pull off the floor did not feel like. It didn't feel any heavier going from weight to weight. It just felt like a pure pull. And then, I mean, I think like I told you, the biggest thing was just because that bar is faster. I think I just felt a little bit more unstable overhead, but overall, like I was not fatigued at all during the snatches.
4 warm-ups.
Yeah.
I took four warm-ups, 50, 70, 80, 86, and then boom, 90 on the PRs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, if we only need to do 4 lifts and then that's the performance, that's the minimum amount of work we need to do today for high success. Training's different. Training, we put in all but it's kind of fun to see, like, okay, because of all the endless reps, all just the mundane, the back-to-back, it got you to the point where you only needed 4 lifts to get a PR opener, to get PR lifts, and then go after like a big milestone lift of 100. So hey, I'll take it.
I think a big thing that helped me with the snatches as well was kind of like the intentions that we've been writing down. Because like I told you, like for the past week and a half, I've just been focusing on trying to make my hands even and then getting my knuckles under. Yeah. And I think that's also the reason why all those pulls felt completely fine, because everything felt completely even, or like way more even than it has before. So yeah, I think that helped a lot.
That's becoming our new like secret, not so secret weapon on just the mental intention stuff of like, hey, I know it's 6:15 at night, but you got to think about because you're doing the activity. You have to do some of your own internal soul searching and things like that. And then it's good that you guys are being able to recall upon it in situations like this, and also be rewarded for all the effort. It's like, all right, every time sitting down writing on this card, it's not getting me anywhere. But now you're like, oh, all right, it kind of worked. Like this, we didn't go to the Arnold, and I think this is paying off. We got a full 13 weeks of training in on no extra meets, anything else popping up. Of course, there was the Open, whatever. And now we're kind of seeing like, hey, big time commitment, big rewards, right? Yeah. For pretty much everybody. You clean jerked 110, easy 110. Boy, is it exciting to be opening into, high triple digits, and also busting out the squat jerk for probably, I imagine, I didn't get a chance to ask you yesterday, unintentional, right? You just went with the movement, or was it on purpose?
Yeah, it was. Well, I I don't even think I moved my feet for the clean. Like as I cleaned, I was like, I don't think my feet moved. And then I stood up and kind of got set. But yeah, that completely pushed me down. But in a way that I was fully okay with it. I could
Yeah.
tell in my warm-ups that things were going straight. So I was like, okay, worst thing that will happen is that the weight just pushes me down. And yeah,
Yep.
it pushed me. I tried to stop it and it just kept on going, but it wasn't like a problem.
Mhm.
But yeah, it fully just pushed me down.
Well, and it's a great example of past time commitments kind of paying off. We went maybe a year of actually just doing squat jerks, right? So it's like you have an awareness. You know, when people start to dabble in squat jerks and they're kind of all over the place and it's scary and all that stuff, like you have an awareness that like it can just happen organically, or if the weight starts to push you down, you work with the weight instead of fighting against it, and then all of a sudden your arms buckle or something. You're like, let me. It's like you're on like a bull and you're just riding, like you're along for the ride and you're controlling it, but like when the animal moves, you move a certain way with it. That takes experience and training it, and so it's cool to have secret weapon. I wouldn't say the split jerk is a secret weapon yet, but
No.
maybe.
Oh my gosh. That would
So
honestly, so much of my lifting is also trying to look cool. And I would never, like, without doing it fully, like all of my warm-ups, I would never out on the platform do a split jerk. That would be so embarrassing to me because I know how it would look. I would never do that. But yeah,
especially
maybe
if
one
your
day.
back foot flattens and you
Like,
wobble and have
it would be so bad.
a lot of you guys have also gotten really good at when the bar starts to move. I got 12 by 12 feet. I'm gonna walk it all around this thing, because like that doesn't really happen in training too much. But like you and Haley will end up like it's like all right, Haley might end up back by where Tanzera normally is.
Yeah.
But we can't do that in training. But on that platform, you guys just stick with it, and that's great because a lot of people will let go way before that.
Yeah, there are moments where you're like, oh, this is just not in the right spot. But then there are times like for me where it was like, oh, but this is locked. Like my shoulders are locked, my arms are locked. I know that it's moving right now. I'm kind of just going to let my feet do whatever because I don't really care. Like I was smiling by the end of my walk around because I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm just going to wait until it stops and then I'll drop the bar. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I did have someone ask me, oh, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was someone on our team. It might have been Chris, but someone did ask me it was Dan, Dan from CrossFit watching. He's like,
Mhm.
is the he thought only the split jerk was legal, and then he
Mm.
saw you push jerk, and then he needed clarification, and possibly for the group over there,
Yeah.
because they were all surprised. They're like, oh, you can do that. They didn't know you could do that, especially since you did the jerk kind of two different ways,
Yeah.
the push jerk and then the squat jerk. So yes, there were people asking questions about, all right, what is Miguel doing? And then also it was funny watching because you're the lightest person in the whole competition for the men. You're mixed in with bigger guys and they're also lifting the same weights you are. And seeing the looks on their face when you would go out there and do it, like when you did the 115 and the bigger guys who were kind of battling 115 a little bit, they were like, man, wow, like they're like, that's crazy. So just kind of seeing the reactions of the people around you, and they're like, oh, where did he come from?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you cleaned 120, right? We did clean one. Yeah, we cleaned 120.
Yeah.
What'd you feel on that jerk?
Well, the thing was, the clean was so easy that I could have laughed out loud. I
Nice.
don't know if I had an easier clean that day. It felt great, but I guess it just was in a spot because I stood up and I was like, I felt how it felt to my hands. And those, when I tell you, like some days it just feels good when I pop it up.
Yeah.
It felt so good in my hands. And I was like, I'm about to crush 120 right now. Like in my head, I was like, I don't miss this jerk. Like, I'm like, even if it pushes me down, like I'm good. And then like vision just immediately went. And I was like, aw.
No.
And I just had to drop it. But I was like, that clean was so easy.
The curtain dropped. The dreaded. It waited for its time to strike.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, like, yeah, the clean and jerks did start to get hard. Like the snatches felt like no weight. The clean and jerks started to add up, but yeah, the clean felt great. I think it was literally just a spot that it hit me that put me out, because I really wanted to hold on to it, but I was like, I don't think I got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you remember, the Haley's math on what the true clean and jerk should be is it's more like 123, something like that. Like I can't remember the percentage, but it's around like a 120 clean and jerk. Your PR back squat is also right there at 137 or 138, one of the two, or maybe your front squat's a kilo heavier. I can't remember. But I think there's room for that to go up. We just haven't.
Yeah.
The right storm has come.
I know, at least for like competition, there's no thing that I would like have the opportunity to put on the bar for a last clean and jerk that I couldn't at least get the clean on. Like I've never walked into a third clean and jerk and thinking like, all right, I just got to get the clean and then maybe I can, like, I'm fairly certain I'm going to get the clean every single time. And that's probably why that last clean felt so good, is because I was just like, I'm just going to pull on it the way that I've been pulling on them. But yeah, again, I think it just hit me in a spot because it felt, I think I would have got it. Honestly, I know that's a big like if, because I didn't even go for a dip, but like the way that it popped up, it felt very good.
Yeah, boy, that could have been a 6 for 6 day on a 100 and 120. Like that would have been like a day for the, like an unbeatable day for the record books. Like who, like
I would literally be acting so different. Like even last night, like I was like, even this morning coaching, like I brought the high into that. I was like, I feel great. Like, it was really good yesterday.
And that's good. Like, that's almost the energy that you would always want coaching on like, oh yeah, I am the freaking man. Like and you people were here yesterday. You saw what I can do. Yeah. You know, I'm like, get on that pull-up bar. What I tell you to do, like you want to be like me, you should do the pull-up this way. And you should listen. Like, it's like, that's funny. So second overall by Sinclair, all the PRs. I had one more thing that I was thinking about. Oh, I think you could definitely clean 175, if not more, 130. And it, like, we were talking about it earlier, you started CrossFit in 2017, and now and there's always those big benchmark numbers, and like most people want to clean 225 and clean and jerk eventually, or at least clean 275. Like those are like magic numbers, and you're almost snatching 225 and clean and jerking 275, and in a jerk in a way that like no one else other than Shaf could probably do in the gym. Maybe Alex. I feel like Alex for a big guy has the flexibility to probably be a really good squat jerker. And when you have tree trunk legs under you as well, it might actually be worth an experiment and let him squat jerk a house, like a small house. But these clean jerk PRs have been coming ever since you overhead squatted 105 back in off season. That was kind of like a harbinger of like, oh, if you overhead squat 105, we can't clean and jerk at least 10 more kilos, like, or snatch up near to this. So, yeah, cool. Any other thoughts on your performance or how the meet went for you?
No, I think this is what I needed. It was like ultimatum opener type of day where I was like, I'm so annoyed with getting a 199 or 198 total. Yeah. Either like I was like, even if I feel like garbage going in, I'm gonna have to hit the 90 kilo snatch, and I'm gonna have to hit at least a 110 clean and jerk. So
that's a good mindset. Like there's only so many times that a coach can tell you, hey, or suggest, hey, let's do this, let's do that, blah, 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 and like have a plan for you. But at some point there has to be that intrinsic, it's not good enough for me anymore, you know? like, okay, I can want you to open up at 90 and open up at these other things. Like, you've got to really want it too. Like, you got to because of course I want you to total way more than that. And I know you're capable of way more than that. But if you're like locked into like, all right, I got to get 88 first on the snatch, and I got to open up at 107 or 105, like, then of course we might end up with a 199 or a one, or even worse, a 198. Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't like that 198.
Yeah.
All right, Shaf and Alex. Do Shaf first. Shaf snatched 107, which is his second time snatching 107 in 6 months since states, if that is 6 months.
Yeah.
So he really showed up on the snatch, especially with how training's been going. Shaf's training numbers are always a little more down than his competition stuff.
Right.
You know, he's always stronger on competition day. I think the environment helps him a lot. Maybe the bars help him a lot. The pressure maybe helps him. It's also not at the end of the day if he's tired from work, things like that, you know. But yeah, he really showed up on that. We went for a PR on the 111. Didn't get it, but still two out of 2 for the snatch. And all of this lifting is coming post Ramadan. So like,
right,
he hasn't, you know, like, that's a 107 post Ramadan. Even if we were a little heavier for this meet, we were a 102. Because I think he said he put on weight this Ramadan. That's a new thing.
Yeah.
That's good. He was working hard on being fueled, you know.
Yeah.
So if you got to get that food in. And then on the clean jerk, we hit 131, which that is the harder lift when you're gassed and you haven't done a whole lot of heavy in a while. And then we just went for it. 138 would have been PR. We took 2 stabs at it. We didn't get it, but I think a great effort for Shaf. Nope. That's an ADK snatch PR. Tied his clean and jerk PR, and a total PR for the regional. So still some PRs. None to apply to training or his overall. So yeah, hey, we still got some PRs. We'll take it.
Yeah, great. And I mean, I would say for Shaf, like, I feel like he might be one of the most aggressive out of all of us for like second attempts. Like his second attempt is usually like a PR.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's get close for our second attempt, or like depending on how we feel, but like pretty consistently, I would say like his second attempt is like, this is a PR. So yeah.
Did you like the way that I was suggesting weight stall? You guys, I would just flash my hand like 5, 4,
like just like yeah, sure.
Well, it's like I think for the 95, I did this first just to throw it out, and then I was like, I put out the 5. This is what I really wanted, but I got to see where you're at and whatnot. We're not going to have a conversation about it. But I was going 5, 4, and then you're like, and I'm like, yeah, all right. And then for the 100, I was like, come on.
Yeah, that was also my thing where I told you too, where I was like, yeah, maybe in my head I was like, I think we can get 98 better than we can get 100, but like if there's ever a day to put on 100, it's here. So
yeah. And then if you miss 98, then it's like, well,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not the same. It doesn't have as much weight as missing 100. And Shaf's 111, it didn't look heavy. I think if he was able to do the last month or so in his normal routine, he'd be a lot closer to hitting it, you know. But like with sleep, hydration, all that stuff, he was only back into caffeine, I think, that day, right? On Saturday. So I think that 111s and more is coming definitely soon. The race is on the you're closing the gap on teammates here, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting developments.
I've told them for years now that's always the goal, is to be the best, just numbers on the team, not even like Sinclair or whatever. Like I'm just going for everyone else's numbers. That is what I'm always doing. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. It was with Alex. All right, I'll save the story for Alex. But yeah, great job for Shaf. Smoked it. Always good, performing well under adversity, you know. And I would say that like he's been training under adversity and not ideal circumstances, and then work's been busy and stuff, but he always comes out and performs. So
yeah.
And hey, we got a total. Alex, of course, ADK PRs across the board by a large number because that was his first meet last year. So those are like 20 kilo PRs, for all those. But overall competition and lifetime PRs, PR to snatch, 106. His best was 105 before. PR to clean and jerk, 142. His best was 140. And of course, PR'd the total. So it's a competition and lifetime PRs. He only made two lifts, which, hey, that's all we need. And we still got 3 PRs out of it. And still one got a medal out of it. Right? Yeah, he got first place, right?
Yeah.
Second year in a row, which this was your fourth year in a row, right?
How many regionals have we done? I
4.
haven't lost regionals, so
okay. All right. So you are 4-time regional champion. Alex 2-time. Haley has won every year as well, if I'm correct, right? I think so. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. So Haley won. Yeah, so ranking up the medals there. Schaff also won. Yeah, he won the 102 weight class, I believe so. So I think he might have had a miss here or there on one of those years, but multiple times. But with Alex, he missed one. He missed a lot of lifts. I think just he put so much effort into it. It was almost too much.
Yeah.
His 137 clean and jerk, it was like, hey, we should have maybe opened at 140,
Right.
But I think he's one we're still figuring out on competition versus training, things like that. This is only his 3rd meet. I mean, his first meet was the regional. He didn't have a singlet. His first real singlet on big meet was states, and now he's into competition mode. Now we're all right, singlets on. So I just think he needs more meet experience. And I like the fact that he's so pissed when he missed those openers. And then we went up anyways. And then I was just telling him, I'm just like, yeah, I'm be pissed. Go be pissed with 106. Go be pissed with 142 and take it out on that bar and everything. And he always has so much emotion.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. He's screaming, the crowd's screaming. So we like that Alex brings the energy to his lifts. So.
Yeah, and I think it's important to miss in meets as well. Again, like you said, we have no clue what Alex's real top end is currently and what it's going to be. And sometimes I feel like in training, I'm like, he's still playing. He doesn't even know that he's just crushing these weights. So I think it's good to go out in competition and miss things, especially if you know that you can hit them. Because then you're like, okay, I really got to take everything seriously now and really give it.
Yeah. He is definitely, see, when he came to us, he was already very, very strong, which is, from a coaching standpoint, a dangerous situation to be in, because we could have gotten him going too fast with the lifts and stuff to the point where he gets hurt. Bigger guys like that, they can get hurt really, really easy because they can do, just by nature, their own body weight, their natural strength, too much too soon than what they have experience with to be able to mentally go through the gymnastics of other stuff. So I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. Plus, his jerk wasn't good at all, so we had to fix that. He was new to split jerking, which I don't know. Maybe we should go back to power jerk. I don't know. His jerk is still a mystery. We got to figure out what we're going to do with this jerk.
Yeah.
But we're at the point now where I'm pushing him a lot more on the strength stuff. Hey, it's meet week. Let's front squat 180. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect you at all because I don't even know what your upper limit is for the front squat.
Yeah.
But then for the lifts themselves, he still has to iron out a lot of technique things and get mentally mature, if that makes sense, with the lifts in general.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been fine with just all right, do whatever Schaff's doing and just get or sometimes he has his own weights. Just get the reps in, fine tune it, get the technique down, because him coming out of CrossFit, we could have used his strength and gotten greedy, but we also could have ingrained a lot of bad habits in those first 6 months to a year. So I think he's in the place now where we can start to push those things. I do have things that I want to change on his clean. I'm not happy with the clean. On the the pull or the catch. But I think if we fix the pull, I don't know if you've noticed his pull, it goes on for a little too long. And his legs get a little too straight because for a big guy, he has flexibility that you wouldn't expect him to have, which is a huge weapon, but it could get him into dangerous positions.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like his legs get a little too straight. It goes on a little too long, and then we have no choice but to hop forward to get it. Like, so we have to figure that out, and I'd like to use the next training site. Like, we were getting back into it, and then by the time I wanted to fix it, it was already too late for the meet coming up. I'm like, it's not even worth it to go after that. I would rather have just kept fixing the jerk. Do this on the jerk. Make sure the snatch is there, because the clean you can just do it. So, but now to get to the next level, the 150 and beyond, because he definitely has beyond. If you do the math with his back squat and stuff on what he should be clean and jerking, that is a big, I'm willing to die under this weight kind of weights, but to break through the 150 barrier, we have to fix the clean. There's no other way around it. So that is in my head, but great job, Shaf and Alex. I do wish I could have gotten over to them more. That is the challenge of having so many people, especially when one person's going, that's just, that's a situation that I would ultimately like to build up to where, all right, Haley has her coaching credentials. She's not needed to officiate.
Yeah.
She can help to monitor the room. All right, Jennifer's able to help in the room. She's not needed to load.
Yeah.
But because it's our own meet and volunteers are scarce, we just have to do it this way. There's no other way around it. And it would have been a little more complicated as well if Michael had come, because he was in your guys' weight or session. Let's see here. Any closing thoughts on Alex?
No,
or
I think we pretty much covered it. I think it makes training fun having them there, especially for me, because I'm chasing total weight, not even like overall body weight included. I'm just like, that person is lifting more than me.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. So
and it's unacceptable.
Right.
Unacceptable. Oh, and that's what I was going to say about the 150. We were joking about afterwards. Like we're like, hey, Frank, you want to show them what a 150 looks like? You want to go out there real quick? I bet if he really wanted to, like he's like, you know what? Like, all right, someone said something to me. You just really pissed me off. Let me go over there and look. I bet Frank could clean 150 cold.
Yeah. Just the clean. Yeah, I think so for sure.
And then have a strong argument for the jerk. I mean, like the
but
show,
the clean
like
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% think so. Now, do I want to test that theory? No. No. We don't need to test it. But yeah, that was just fun. Him joking around with Alex on like I can show you what that looks like. Because it's clear that Alex should be able to, that's when you get those jokes when it's like, yeah, you definitely can, but with time. Alex there's a lot of weights that are going to go down later this year.
Yeah. Alex
will clean and jerk 150, or I'll eat my hat. I think there's a strong argument for Haley clean and jerking 100. And then there's a strong argument for you snatching 100 and clean jerking 120 plus. So I think that's where we're at,
Yeah.
Because we've only gotten just one training cycle so far.
Yeah.
Justin and Chris. Justin, we made one snatch. We were going for stuff on the snatch there. 62 would have been a PR, both lifetime and competitions. But we ended the day for 58. That was just a situation of like, we went back, like we've been getting too comfortable going back to powers.
Yeah.
We got to get down there. And he was squat snatching in the warm-up room, but you can't go out there and now miss so much of your range of motion and try to lock it out. But we rebounded on the clean and jerk, 3 for 3 on the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
The 88 kilos was a PR. Lifetime and competition, and then 92 kilos was a lifetime competition and all time. Yeah, what am I saying? Lifetime competition and regular PR.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the 150 total was a competition PR too, and the heaviest he's ever totaled, even in training. So, you can have a rough day on the snatch and then bring it all back together with the clean jerk. And Justin hasn't done a meet in a really long time.
Yeah.
So this is his first meet back in quite some time. So there's got to be some grace period with that on just like shaking off the rust. Like it's different than doing a first time where you have no expectations and you haven't done it before. This is his first time he's done them. He has PRs, but they're really old. But all right, can we get back there? All these things. So I think a great day for Justin.
Yeah. Reffing, I would say, bringing it back to like me from like a coach's eye, watching Justin's clean and jerks, I could tell that they were all going to be mates, like from the very beginning. And then like he was squatting them too. And I was like, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could tell like he was standing up after the clean and I was like, oh, he's got this jerk. And the jerks are great.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the push jerk. Maybe it's the push jerk Wednesdays.
Maybe. But that's the thing. Is like we were not concerned. I wasn't concerned, but he's concerned about the lockouts, right? Yeah. So that's what we're always looking at in training. Are there's a lockout? Push more here. So he put a lot of effort into it, and that's of course what the mental mission was. Like I gotta lock this thing out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, great job, crushed it. Chris, first meet, got a singlet. That's great. Which I think it's good to have the rule there that like, okay, you don't have to wear a singlet. But I think in this environment, you do feel more weird being the only one not wearing it and going out there in shorts. Because now not everyone in the crowd or watching knows this rule. So they're all like, how come that guy's wearing shorts? Like it's different, But no one went 6 for 6, I'm noticing. Okay. Nope.
We were going for stuff.
We were going for it. So there were some threats on me having to change that board or that card, but we didn't get them. And if we got them, we were going to earn them. 3 for 3 on the snatch. 75 kilos is a PR. The most he's done with us was 65, but he's done 155 in CrossFit stuff, which is a little more than 70. So, but this is a de facto 75 kilo PR. Lifetime and his first time competing. He did 92 on the clean and jerk, which he said that was not. I don't think that was a PR. I wrote PR next to it. It's a PR for our purposes, but I think 95 is the most he's done. Like if we're talking pounds and CrossFit stuff, I'll have to confirm with him. That's why we went for 97. That would have been a de facto PR, but we missed 97 and a 167 total on the day. So 5 out of 6 lifts made. Good first time. The snatches look great from my angle. They were very well balanced, and we kept the lockout together for the clean, which is of course the concern on having the lockout. The great cleans, the cleans never concerned with Chris.
No,
it's just on like it's not even does he have the strength? It's just, is he going to be able to organize everything? He kind of has the same issue you have. I'm like, well, how do I lock it in? Type of a deal. So great performance by both of them.
Yeah.
Anything that you saw for Chris?
I did give him a red light. He got, I think, his second clean and jerk by majority because I gave him a red light. But yeah, it's the same thing. It wasn't like an egregious anything. It was just like, I think his right arm like wiggle right here where like you could see a little bit of a difference there. But it's never like, because he can do it clearly. Like it's up there. It's just like, what is the point that it sticks and just like sticks? But yeah, no, it was great to see him lift his first time. And I think he has a good technique for meat nerves, if that makes sense. Like he's kind of not segmented, but like methodical in the way that like he pulls as well. And I think that helps slow things down so that you're not just ripping them and,
Oh, you mean when he goes to set up on the bar?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and like I think just like the first pull as well is very like organized.
Yep. That's something we were working on this whole well, for a large part of this training cycle is the way he sets up on the bar. Because he would before just kind of fold at the hip and get the hands set
Yeah.
first and then not be able to load his back or legs or anything. So I started having him set his feet and then squat down to the bar. And then when your legs get you there, then grip it,
Yeah.
and then now he can feel his quads. And that was able to get him better posture because he did have posture issues
Mhm.
early on in the training cycle because, he's not bendy through, through his torso. So we had to just get it set up here and then don't lose it and keep it locked in.
Yeah.
And then that seemed to help a lot. I did the same thing back when with John on his approach to the bar. I'm like, set up on it, squat down to it, get your hands set instead of setting hands first.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be a better way for some people to feel and load their muscles. I can't remember where did I learn that. That might have been something I learned with like some of those Russian, maybe a Klokov thing. I can't remember. I can't remember where I learned that one. I'm just like setting down to the bar that way versus like, going. Some people go completely. They're loose, like they squat down and whatnot, and then they tighten up, and like it doesn't work for everybody. So that's like, if you ever have someone who has issues setting up like with their posture or anything like that, seems to be a good way because again, you're doing it from the top down. Like lock in what you want while they're standing, then go down. Oh, your legs are on fire. Great. You're going to use those muscles and then just grab it. Because a lot of people are just concerned with where do I put my hands? And it's like, it is important, but there's also way more other important things that need to be set too.
Yeah. Yeah. And we work a lot on positions. And one of my biggest pet peeves is picking up the bar and then moving. Like, I hate when I see it because I'm like, no, just pick it up the way that is your snatch position. And then you work your way down. Because then it's like that, like you're saying, it's like you're just putting your hands on the bar where your grip is, and then nothing's set because you're going to get set when you get up there. But just get set from the floor and be ready. That's
something that I established years ago. Remember, like when you go to set up on the bar, set up like you would snatch and then pull it to the hang, but then there's the CrossFit class of like just pick it up and now we're there. And I hate that too. And it's like, it's that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's like you just missed a rep of your setup and your initial pull by just bending over to get it to the hang anyway, anyhow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And if you do enough, if we're doing sets of 2 or whatever on the hangs plus all the warm-ups, you just did it 20 times or 15 times the wrong way, the way you don't do it. And your body remembers, and you're training your body with everything you do. So really important thing. Just like when you're doing the deadlifts, pull it the same way you would pull to do the snatch, set up the same way, like things don't have to change, especially since we are purposefully specializing and being specialists. So great performance for the whole team. Everyone did great. We have a lot of PRs. I got to do all the stats and post that. I'll do that post tomorrow. Today's the birthday post. But then I'll start rolling out the videos and we'll see what our medal count is, our championship count, all that stuff. And I think we've started the year off very, very strong, less stressful, less travel, less money, and then we really put in all of our focus and attention into training. And here we are. And I would say, I think relatively injury tweak free too, right?
Yeah, other than like freak stuff, like me pinching a nerve. But But I would say for the most part, nobody has like got anything from us overworking or like, oh, we have a meet coming up, so we have to just figure this out. We've had the time to like be okay and like deal with whatever.
Yeah, and I think the amount of testing we did was fine. We had a halfway point. We tested all the doubles and stuff. We tested the strength lifts. We really didn't test the strength lifts at the end too much other than we just kept going heavy. And we did kind of test the singles a little bit on some things, But all right, we not everyone PR'd on all those things, but hey, these are the more important PRs that we were building up to. And I think the way that we're going about it, like I don't know if there's a reason enough to change things too much wholesale for the next training cycle. Like, of course, I want to organize the core gymnastics stuff at the beginning a little bit, give it a little more structure and attention, so we are following a program for that instead of just kind of like seeing what works. How much do you think that stuff impacted everything else and where we ended? So it kind of like the big test is like we have our final results on the meet. How much do you think the hollow body, the Superman, the other gymnastic type core stuff that we did has helped?
A good amount. I mean, we can even bring it back to like when Josh took the course, where it's just like these are foundational things, these body positions and just body awareness. When I did gymnastics last year, like all that I gained from it, just every day, like feeling your core and strengthening that up before we do our squats, and even the order that we're doing everything in. And even if you take out the physical benefits, just the like mental benefits of like, hey, we get in, we start, we're doing these core things every time. Like,
and we start hard. Just like, it's hard.
Yeah, this like structure of how we begin kind of sets the tone for the rest of everything we do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. The changes that we're going to make there, like Monday is front and back, hollow, Superman, static positions, but paired with dynamic lateral core stuff, and also hip things. Yeah. So I'm going to start to add in more of the hip. Like you saw how we kind of did the Fonda stuff, like things like that. I'm going to add in a little bit more of that, so there's consistency on like we got core, like because that's part of our core. So we want to do all that too. And then Wednesday is dynamic. More dynamic lateral, and then dynamic. The banana roll. So hollow Superman, like that, and more hip stuff. And then Friday is hollow rocks or raises and stuff like that. So dynamic front and back, hollow Superman, and standing lateral. So I have like a mix of like stuff on the floor, like a static plank stuff. Oh, that's what it is. On Wednesday, dynamic rolling with the hollow stuff, but static core. Yeah. So like holding a side plank and stuff. And then Friday, we're doing lateral stuff, obliques standing. So we're going to hit the obliques with crunches, like dynamic movement there, static holds, and then standing dynamic. So we'll have a good mix of both of them. Because remember when way back, I was like, if we start working on more of our oblique stuff, it'll help our squats, because the obliques help you to stabilize the descent of the squat. Remember that way back? And like we tried it for a little bit and it didn't stick too long. But like that's why I want to make sure we're doing standing stuff too. So we have a lot of that stuff going on with hips all interspersed. And that's how we're starting. So the way I envision it is a couple stretches, then we go into that, then we go into the squats. I don't see a reason to ditch the squats. It's like we're just getting really, really strong with them. Like, why would we get rid of it? So I think we keep squats. And I think back squat Monday, Friday, front squat Wednesday works. Proven method. Not just for us, but it's in Penley's book. That's the exact thing that they were doing. I don't know if I'll change any kind of variations with it, like pauses. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that? Do we need to, other than just sets and reps, add like pauses, like Monday's a pause day, Friday's just a no pause day, dynamic, and front squats are the same, or adding in things like 1 1/4. Now I know you hate some of that stuff, so
I would say I'd be fine with it being like not random, like a method to it, but I wouldn't say like, all right, for these next 8 weeks, Mondays are always pausing or something like that. Like I
Yeah.
would say like maybe instead of like doing like, all right, we're at the point where we're testing our heaviest 5. Maybe if we don't want to do that or something, then we add in like, all right, now let's do, before we go into like full deload, let's test out like, or do like a slightly lighter than the week before, pausing for like however many reps or something
Yeah.
like that. I think when we make it like this day is pausing, this day is 1.25, it gets to be a lot. Like then you like, that's when you dread it. I think we're all at a point now where we're like, yeah, we squat. But if we add in those other things, I think it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, I was maybe more thinking, well, and I know that's tough. Like you're sitting at work all day and you're like, I have to be at the bottom of 125, for 5 sets. What I was thinking more of like, because we just did straight squats, no variables, and we got a lot of benefit out of it. I was wondering if I could squeeze more juice out of the fruit with like, okay, first 3 warm-ups, those easiest squats that are kind of like just routine and mundane. All right, you're going to pause on those. You're going to pause for 5 seconds at the bottom, 10 seconds at the top, and do that for 3 sets. Now you're like really getting a lot out of it, and you're extra warm for those other ones, So that's just something I was kind of thinking about. Maybe not even for the full thing, just kind of like paying attention to the first 3 sets. Especially since in many cases, it's always the same weights. Like some weights don't change week to week. It's like and that's why I also would like to add in like, okay, all right, here's my thought. Tell me this. Monday, the first 3 warm-up sets or so are the exact number of squats that we're doing, but they're paused. And we'll do pauses at the bottom, pauses at the top. Because that pause at the top is good for jerks. Also just strengthening things. I don't know if I would do something like that for the front squats. Front squats, I think, are fun to keep dynamic. So that's where I was thinking more of like a 1.25. Just let's be bouncy getting out of these squats.
Yeah.
Not everyone's knees like that. And then on Friday, it's heavier than Monday and same reps, but starting off with bigger sets. Like, okay, it's a set of 10 for the first. Kind of like how we did like 10, 5, 5, or maybe we do 10, 10, 5, 5, 5. So squeak in a little extra volume at the lightest weights. That way it's like, okay, if Haley's got a back squat 45, she's not doing it she's going to do it for 10 and be like, oh, all right, I broke a sweat off of that one, those are the changes that I was thinking for that.
Okay. I would be willing to test it out. I still don't like 1.25s at all, but everything else, cool.
Yeah. Now, 1.25, I'm just throwing it out there because it's an easy example. It's on my list. I'm circling around it. I would like, I don't want to overdo the pausing though. I don't think we need to pause more than 1 day. But maybe the pause is better on front squat day than back squat day. Maybe because then it is even more jerk specific. I don't know. Would you prefer 1.25 front squats or 1.25 back squats?
Maybe back squats. Yeah, if we're staying light, maybe back squats. I just that front rack 1.25, it just never does me good.
Hey, it forces you to keep that front rack tight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to think about it. I definitely want it to be a little different day to day, so it's not all the same. Like, I definitely would want us to pause on Monday and then pause again on Wednesday, and it seems like all we're doing is pausing. So a little variation goes a long way. And again, I'm only talking about just the beginning and the build-up stuff. The working sets, I think, are fine to keep it just straight squats, So yeah, I'll see. I got to see too. Are we going to go back to 5s? Are we going to do a singles? How big of a reset are we going to do? Stuff like that. I do think our reset would be good just to start light again. And it's just a lot of volume in the beginning, just moving. I think the 2-minute clock, I think 7 sets on a 2-minute clock is kind of our sweet spot to not waste too much time and get into the weeds and not have enough time for other things. So I just got to make sure if we can get the gymnastics and the squatting done in the first 45 minutes and then use the last hour to do our lifting, I think that's solid.
Yeah.
And we've been accomplishing that. So just making sure other pieces don't get too out of whack, which I think if I truncate down the stretching to just the bare essentials, and then that'll allow more time for the gymnastic stuff versus like, okay, we're going to do drills back and forth or a lot of PVC pipe stuff. I think that'll help. I just need to economize the time. And then there's the lifts. Here's my idea on the lifts. We're going back to the hang, going back to it, and the floor. Fridays from the floor. But I would like to advance now to our favorites, mid thigh and low hang. I think we just do different positions. You know, we've already done a lot of hips and knees. I think it could get very, very boring to go back to hips and knees again for a whole other 13 weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think we'll get, you know, we got better at hips, knees. So I think we might have to build back up, even though it seemed like those were our way ahead positions, like mid thigh, low hang. I think we'll have to like get back into them again.
Yeah, and just like we started this year, I'm thinking on like it'll kind of be like not crazy light, but like we got to like get back into it now. We had our Monday off. We have 2 days that'll be very similar in structure, almost like we're gonna like go through the motions of like, all right, here's the new stuff that we're going to be doing, and then the real program will start next Monday. But I think like start off light, and I think we started off with a little bit of volume too, right? Didn't we start off with triples or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Triples or doubles that were like at 60% or something like that, just to like get everybody on the same page and let everyone's brain figure out low hang again, you know, and also not be too beat up in the beginning. I think that worked out really well on managing week to week on just like, all right, cool. It started off at 60%, but don't you worry, it will escalate, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of like essentially what we've done, just changing the levels of the positions a little bit. Because my one thought was, well, let's just go all from the floor. I don't think we need to go all from the floor and the stress that builds. I think that's closer to states. I think we get midway through summer with what we're about to do now. Then we start to kind of switch a little bit into complexes that might combine multiple positions that we've already been working on. And then it'll eventually just be floor, like really just dialing it in for states.
Yeah.
And then we're back into off season. We'll powerlift a little bit. Should we find a powerlifting meet and go do that? Squat, bench, deadlift.
Nope.
Oh, all right. I think Shop's the only one that wants to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the vision for the next training cycle. And then I think day 4 is really good to just be maybe an upper body focused type of thing on like if you want extra accessory, work your upper body, you know, we'll do bench press, push press, stuff like that. Because we're already hammering the legs 3 days a week. We almost don't need it. How do you think day 4 was going for the ones that you were able to do? Like it seems less stressful, but like you're doing stuff still.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, with like the split squats and stuff, I still feel like that unilateral stuff was beneficial. But yeah, you're right with like doing the dips and bench. It's just since we're not necessarily touching that stuff during the week, it's good to make sure that those are still being built up or being maintained.
Yeah, and I don't know if I want to open the door again or add back in like, okay, hit your front squat and then go do 5 dips or handstand push-up. I mean, we could. Do you think there's a reason to do that, or now's it just getting too crowded?
Yeah, there's too many people. I think that was like, oh, everyone has their own bar. All the weights are fine. So we're kind of just doing whatever. Mm-hmm. But now I think people already have to double up, and we're half the time you're looking for your next weight because somebody has it. And yeah, I think what we got is
it wouldn't be able to be 2 minutes anymore. It would have to be 3 to 4 minutes to do all that. Yeah. So that's what we have to look forward to. I got to figure out. I can't remember what we're doing for deload B. Do you remember? I can't. What did I say? I'm going to go back. I might just go with what I have in my head. Oh, I would like to do pound plates on one of these days here.
Oh, yeah.
Bust out. Maybe all right. Maybe that's what we're doing. We're gonna kind of test out the format of what we're doing later, but like we'll just use pound plates. Both days. Just practice. It might just be like Wednesday is like a little complex of practicing low hang and mid thigh, just working on stuff, no expectations, and then Fridays from the floor, but pound plates, and we'll still front squat and back squat, and we'll still do abs, and I'll make sure I can fit it all within the time frame as well before we actually get started. So yeah. Cool. I don't think we need to do anything like crazy complex or something. I don't know. Or was that more fun if we did like, all right, let's do the hokey poke, or like not even the hokey pokey, just throwing it out there, like or shankles. We'll do shankles for a day or something like that.
I mean, I think we save that for when we need them. Like I think right now everyone is nobody's annoyed yet with all we've been doing.
Yeah.
So I think now we keep it the same until we get kind of burnt out, and then we throw some razzle dazzle in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
There are a few people that want to go in and do some training tomorrow, so maybe I'll save the shankle for them. Like, hey, go in, hit a shankle tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And I got this little guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Matthias from Buffalo Head Barbell Club gave me this, and it goes with all of my other trinkets. Now I have a little duck here. I've got this guy here.
Yeah.
But it's fun that he brings me a little toy every meet now. Apparently he got this little Kool-Aid Man guy when he was a kid.
Really?
And he's had it for years, and he decided to give it to me. So very honored to get that. And it's so fitting because of our gym.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to bring it back to the gym and take a picture of it in front of our Kool-Aid Man.
Mm-hmm.
But we have all definitely drank the Kool-Aid. So this is the very, very fitting gift. Very thoughtful of him. So I very, very much appreciate it. And he gave me a nickel too. That was a Buffalo nickel, because I guess they give one to every person on their team. That's what a cool thing. Right. All right, you joined their club. Here's a Buffalo nickel on it. Like, what a cool idea. I like to see little, like we have our little things like that, but it's cool when clubs do stuff like that. It makes it special. Yeah. Awesome. Well, any closing thoughts, Miguel, on the whole weekend, the training cycle, how everything went, the future?
No, I mean, well, I guess like thank you for coaching all of us. Everyone's, as you can probably see, like everyone's still excited. And I think what we've been doing has been working. So, props to you for keeping us all within the sport and, making it bearable, because it's hard, but I think everyone's been enjoying it.
Yeah. There is a high turnover rate on people coming and going, but we always have our consistent group. So, keeping most of you guys past 3 years, I think, has been a good accomplishment. Because I'm sure there are many times where you're like, all right, I dabbled in weightlifting, but now you're in so deep, so deep, and it's like getting you guys to take the level 1s and 2s and stuff. That's also like, here's another little hook in you. Here's a little so it's like Haley's gonna go take her level 2. It's like there's a couple more years in the sport for you, because also you got to explore those avenues too. So. And there's plenty of room to grow. So, and it's fun. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. So it's got to be enjoyable, Like if all of you guys left and then we had a bunch of people come in and they weren't enjoying to be around, like, well, that was a great time doing the barbell club. That was great. It's time to move on now. So we all have to enjoy being around each other for like as much, like we are around each other a lot in that training. And the day may be good or bad, you have to enjoy being around the other people. Oh my goodness, you have to. Even when the fights happen, I'm gonna miss seeing you, or I'm gonna miss Tanzira fighting with people, like, because Tanzira is moving away soon. So it's like I really do enjoy when I love the days when 10-0 chooses violence, because like some days she'll come in and she'll almost be like looking for a fight, picking on people, right? A little bit. Like it could be Chris, it could be Justin, it could be Shaf. I don't know, she lashes out at some people sometimes. But like I feel like whenever that happens, we needed that to happen for the day. Like it was like a day where everybody was tired. We needed this excitement and drama to happen right now. So 10-0 always helps with that. So we'll see if maybe that arises with other people. So cool. Awesome. Well, good talk today, Miguel. I will not see you tomorrow because I'm taking tomorrow off, and I'm assuming you're taking tomorrow off as well, right?
I don't know yet. Maybe it's a good time to get stuff up on the walls. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
like a house day. I'm sure you need a day to do that. My one disappointment from the weekend was at the end of the day, I looked at my pedometer, and I was pissed that it only said 6,000 steps for the day. I was so disappointed because I didn't look at it all day, and I'm like, I'm gonna see 15 to 20,000 steps or something. And then I looked at it and it said 6,000. I'm like, no way. And then like when we cleaned and I brought all the stuff back up here, I managed to get up to 9,000 to finish out the day. But I was a little mad.
Yeah,
I was a little mad because I was the day before was 13,000 day. I was like, I don't understand how I got more Friday than today, because I never stopped. Like I was sitting at times, but I never stopped. I was like, I don't understand how on a regular CrossFit day, I might get 8,000, where like I'm sitting here most of the day. Then I go to the gym and do stuff. Like I don't know how it worked out.
Right.
I don't know how it worked out. And then I still had to come here and do my gymnastics workout, which was supposed to be crab walks, 5 rounds of 20 to 30 feet of crab walks, which turned into just holds. But it's got to get done.
Yeah.
Got to get done. Other days it wouldn't have got done, but nope. Nothing. Remember, nothing gets set. None of the non-negotiables get sacrificed now. It's got to get done. Doesn't matter. So, but I was still pissed. I was like, when I was typing it into my spreadsheet this morning, I was like, I can't believe only 9,000. I shouldn't have put the expectation, because last year I had 22,000 steps.
Yeah.
Because it was a 4 a.m. to like 11 a.m. kind of day. So my day got shortened. I didn't have to start, doing stuff over there until like 7. Yeah. So I had already been walking around for 3 hours last year. And so that's why, but still I wanted a big number.
Yeah.
But cool. All right. Where can people follow you, Miguel?
At Couldn't Be Miguel on Instagram. And
you can see his big lifts soon by the end of the week on Albany CrossFit Barbell Club Instagram page. Follow me if you want, James A. McDermott. Follow Albany CrossFit. Follow the Barbell Strikes Back. Follow Adirondack Weightlifting, the region page. Follow New York Weightlifting. Too many Instagram pages. Don't follow any of it. Go home. Go do steps. Go do something else. Thank you so much for listening. Miguel, thank you for the conversation.
Thank you.